What's up and welcome to My Point of View. I am your fat and opinionated host, also known as Cinema Shogun, and I gotta tell you, I hate starting off my mornings with a Kohberger. I like starting my mornings off with some Starbucks. I know a lot of people like coffee in the morning. I don't like coffee until the afternoon. I like starting my day with a nice Starbucks juice. But instead, I'm starting off my morning with a Kohberger court hearing. Now, Kohberger was in court this morning, and it appears to me, I'm not trying to start any rumors or anything here, but using my own two eyes, when I was looking at Kohberger, it looks like he has scratches all over his face. Now, in the first body cam footage we saw, it appeared that Kohberger had this cut on his arm. But I made the point to you all, like, with these photos, sometimes you just don't know. Sometimes, shadows will play tricks on you. Sometimes the pixels mess up. And after the second body cam footage was released and we saw Bryan Kohberger's arm again, I realized that there was no cut on Kohberger's arm. But here in court, with good lighting, it appears that Kohberger has some cuts on his face, and in my opinion, it also appears to me that Kohberger wasn't necessarily as confident today. It seems like his posture was just a little less confident in my mind. But hey, who am I to say? But instead of explaining all of this stuff to you for 10 to 15 minutes, let's just go ahead and watch it ourselves. I'm going to show you all this entire court hearing, and then I'll be right back with my thoughts. If you've already seen the court hearing, you could fast forward through because I have a lot of things to say about this, and I will be telling you all everything that's on my mind in just a moment. But first, let's go ahead and look at this court hearing.
All right.
Right, good morning. We are on the record. This is cause number CR 29222805. This is State of Idaho versus Bryan Kohberger. Mr. Kohberger is in custody. He is appearing here in court with his attorneys, Ms. Taylor, Mr. Logston, Mr. Thompson, Ms. Jennings appearing on behalf of the state. This is the time set in the matter for the preliminary hearing status conference. So I am going to inquire of counsel. Ms. Taylor, what's the status at this time?
Thank you, Your Honor. We are going to ask the court to set preliminary hearing out into June. We would request the 3rd or 4th week of June and probably 4 or 5 days for preliminary hearing. Mr. Kohberger understands his right to a timely preliminary hearing, and he's willing to waive the timeliness to allow us time to obtain discovery in this case and be prepared.
And Mr. Thompson, are you in agreement with that?
The state has no objection to that, Your Honor. Ms. Taylor reached out to us by email yesterday with her proposal. On reflection, the state's calendar would be better in the month of July, but we will make the end of June work if that's the court's preference. And I haven't had a chance to talk to Ms. Taylor about that. I'm sorry, I know that's last minute.
That's okay. The court's calendar is going to be better towards the end of June, early July. So would that work, Ms. Taylor, for your scheduling on your other matters?
Your Honor, yes. If we take that 4th week in June, that's actually best.
Okay. So, Mr. Kohberger, I need to speak to you for a moment then. Sir, you do understand, and Ms. Taylor has represented here, that she's advised you of your right to have, or fully discussed with you, the right that you have, which is to have your preliminary hearing within 14 days of the date that you initially appeared before this court. As you recall, when I advised you of your rights, that hearing is a probable cause hearing where the state has to establish that more likely than not, these felony offenses were committed and you were the one that committed the felony offenses. If you waive your right to a speedy preliminary hearing, it does not mean that you're giving up your right to have a preliminary hearing. It simply means that you would not be able to come back and challenge that the state did not present probable cause within 14 days. Do you understand?
Yes.
Have you had enough time to speak with Ms. Taylor about your decision to waive your right to a speedy preliminary hearing?
Yes.
Do you need any additional time to do so?
No.
Then I will ask at this time, as to the 5 counts, felony counts that were charged in the criminal complaint that was filed on December 29th of 2022, are you waiving your right to a speedy preliminary hearing and agreeing that that hearing can be held outside the 14-day period?
Yes.
And Ms. Taylor, do you concur with his waiver?
I do, Your Honor. Thank you.
I will find your waiver of speedy preliminary hearing is knowing, intelligently, voluntarily entered here in open court with the assistance of counsel. We will go ahead and set the matter for a preliminary hearing. Beginning Monday, June 26th at 9:00 a.m. And I will go ahead and reserve the week, so June 26th to June 30th, in the event that we need all 5 days for presentation of evidence. And just so council knows, it will begin at 9 a.m. each of those days. Is there anything further to address at this time in the case, Mr. Thompson?
Not from the state's perspective, Your Honor, no.
All right, or Ms. Taylor?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Kohberger, then you will be remanded into custody on your same no bail at this point in time, pending further proceedings. Again, we'll send notice out to council, and we will be in recess for this morning.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
So let's start off with the scratches. Where did the scratches come from? I guess maybe they gave him a razor and he cut himself trying to shave. I don't know. Some people seem to think Kohberger has already gotten beaten up, but Kohberger is not in general pop. Kohberger is by himself in that cell. I doubt he interacts with other humans besides guards. Now, could guards have beaten Kohberger up? I guess. I mean, I would want to if I was a guard. But the reality is, I think they're giving this dude a freaking razor blade to shave his face. And if that's the case, then someone needs to talk to them about that, because that's not a good idea. Okay? The dude obviously doesn't know how to shave. He's got cuts up and down his face. And how long before he uses that razor blade for something else? So, hey, maybe, just maybe, if you're at that freaking jail, do not let Kohberger shave, because it's obvious that he's going willy-nilly with the blade. So that scares me. Because it's also revealed that Kohberger's preliminary hearing will be on June 26th. Months from now. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you thought that we were going to get a quick conclusion to the story, go ahead and get that out of your mind. I'm going to tell you all right now that it may be years before we see a trial. I'm telling you all right now, June 26th rolls around, we're going to have a preliminary hearing, and then the trial, if there's going to be a trial, it will be sometime between 2024, 2026. This isn't something that's going to end today, tomorrow, the next day. This is going to drag on for a long time, and I hope everyone is ready for that. But honestly, from all of the cases I've covered and the way I look at things, by then people won't care anymore. By then there'll be like 50 other cases that people are obsessed with. And that's what's always weird about these cases for me. It's like people obsess over them. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's looking at it. And by the time you actually get the end of the story, it's like no one even cares anymore. But we're going to have to sit here and wait months before the preliminary hearing. And then who knows how long before the actual trial. But I feel like, in my opinion, and some people will disagree, that's fine, this kind of shows that Bryan ain't really that innocent. If I was innocent and I'm in jail, I want a speedy trial. Hell no, I do not want to sit here until June for a preliminary hearing. Hell no, I do not want to sit here until 2025, 2026 for a freaking trial if I'm innocent. So in my mind, this is not the actions of an innocent man. But Bryan Kohberger's up against some serious charges. But you heard his defense team. You heard what she said, his lawyer. They're not coming to play around. I don't know why, but they ain't playing about their Kohberger, okay? They're going to make sure Kohberger gets the best defense ever. They're going hard to prove that Kohberger is innocent. And people will say that's their job. They always do this. No, they don't. No, they don't. Public defenders rarely ever go this hard for their client. I have never seen a public defender do as much as Kohberger's public defender. They need until June for a preliminary hearing because they're about to conduct their own months long investigation to prove that Bryan is innocent. So when this trial comes, this isn't your run-of-the-mill trial. No, they're fighting back. They're going to bring counter evidence. It's going to be crazy. I'm telling you all right now, go ahead and get ready. Whenever this trial does come, I'm sure half of you all won't even pay attention to it. But when it comes, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy because they're mounting up a legal defense here of the likes we've never seen before coming from a free lawyer. And when I say free lawyer, I mean it's free to Kohberger. You probably paid for his lawyer. We all did. So that's the reality of the situation here. My main takeaway from his court date was, hey, please, for the love of God, do not give this dude a razor and leave him by himself. What in the heck? But anyway, let me know what you all think about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, ring that notification bell. I'll talk to you all in the next video.